Coming up next on the Pro Wrestling Report, we have a preview of tomorrow's Hell in a Cell pay-per-view with Be the Booker, and TNA star and amazing race star Robbie E joins us for a very special interview. All this and a look back at the week in pro wrestling right here, right now on My 24 Milwaukee.
This is the Pro Wrestling Report PrimeTime TV, the longest-running pro wrestling news program in the world, with your hosts David Hero and Damian Nelson.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Pro Wrestling Report Primetime Saturday night here on My 24 Milwaukee. Damian Nelson sitting alongside David Octavius Tiberius, the alleged backyard one-time knockout, straight-edge hardcore Hall of Famer hero. How are you here on October 25th?
I'm fantastic. What a busy weekend it's been so far.
Is that right?
It's been crazy.
Fantasticon going on this weekend.
Yes.
Big show tomorrow night for GLCW at Circle
yes.
B with Mean Gene Okerlund, Rosita.
And Uncle Al Snow.
Al Snow as well. But before we get into that, which we'll hear more about later, let's go to this week's WWE report. And this past Monday night, we found out what the true main event for Hell in a Cell tomorrow on pay-per-view is going to be.
Oh, come on now. Be nice.
Well, the winner of one of those two Hell in a Cell matchups will get a shot at the WWE World Champion Brock Lesnar. And that matchup will be the winner of the John Cena versus Randy Orton
wait,
Hell in a Cell match.
Why would they do that?
But it's the main event. It's a true main event.
I guess, but hasn't the whole Hell in a Cell been built around getting Seth Rollins in the cell?
Seth Rollins versus Dean Ambrose is the other Hell in a Cell match.
Everyone's been trying to get Seth Rollins in a Hell in a Cell match. I mean, Cena and Ambrose were fighting over it.
Yes, they were, and they have a match.
Yeah,
but they don't get the opportunity at Brock Lesnar for the World Heavyweight Championship.
So what you're telling me is that even though John Cena lost to Dean Ambrose, he's still being rewarded with possibly the biggest prize in the land.
Yes.
Wow.
That is if he were to win. Now, Randy Orton RKO'd both Cena and Paul Heyman this past Monday night.
How terrible.
What's wrong with that?
It's kind of anti-Semitic.
How so?
Taking out Paul Heyman?
And John Cena.
Yeah, but, he really picked on Paul Heyman.
I think he was more of an anti-dentite.
Anti-dentite? Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, he's also anti-demigods because he didn't like John Cena either.
Does this lessen the significance of the Hell in a Cell matchup where the Money in the Bank briefcase is not on the line between Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose?
You can't hang it from the top of the cage.
No, you could.
You can't.
It'd be easy to grab.
There's going to be so much stuff going on in that match anyhow. I mean, they need to keep Seth Rollins with the briefcase.
Yes.
Until WrestleMania. You got to figure, okay? And I'll go into that later. But they need to, that's the prop. Even though it's not going to be used, it will be used in the match. They're not fighting for it, but it's going to be a centerpiece.
So those two are going to deliver in that matchup, there's no doubt about it, Rollins and Ambrose. But does it lessen the significance of that matchup that the other matchup, the winner gets Lesnar?
They can deliver in that matchup.
They will.
They can.
They will.
But you got to keep in mind, these are two young guys that have never been in a Hell in a Cell match before.
Yeah.
They haven't.
They've wrestled each other countless times.
That doesn't matter.
It's not like they use the cell anyways.
They've never been in a Hell in a Cell match.
And it doesn't matter anymore.
It does, because it's still all about the craziness, the bumps, the shenanigans, the being tossed off the top through the tables, the choke slam through. They need to do something memorable for that match. Otherwise, they're just two guys in a cage.
Well, we'll talk much more about that later on and Be the Booker as we talk about the pay-per-view that is tomorrow night. But also this week on WWE programming, things got a little interesting this past Monday night when Rusev calls for the Russian flag, thwarted by the Big Show. The American flag comes down, and Rusev tried to Big Show Gold Glory.
You know what's funny is if you really think about it, okay, and we haven't thought about this yet, the production team hangs that Russian flag every week.
Well, Big Show got in there.
But think about it. Mm-hmm. Rusev and Lana aren't on ladders hanging it up before the show starts.
Rusev and Lana come up to you before the show and say, hey, can you hang this Russian flag above the ring?
If she asked me, probably I would do it. If he, maybe not so much.
Payment?
Whatever we can work out.
A soldier storms the ring in Fatigue's uniform and is attacked by Rusev. Too far, David Hero?
No. It's a TV show.
It is a TV show.
I've seen zombies bite the necks off of soldiers on Walking Dead. No one gets upset about that. Right?
I like how this is making this match that much bigger tomorrow night on pay-per-view, Rusev versus Big Show. But an old friend comes back to visit an old friend on Monday night as well. Mick Foley back to confront Rollins and Ambrose about the Hell in a Cell.
And great promo.
Yeah.
I mean, Mick Foley, he delivers. He knows that structure better than anybody else. He's seen more angles of it than anybody else. But you know what the amazing thing is how WWE television, they're so particular about how their superstars look.
Yet.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
I mean, I know Mick. I was with him a couple months ago.
Page 99.
His beard was pretty gray when I saw him last. Just for Men needs to be a sponsor for everyone in the Attitude Era.
That was this week's WWE report, ladies and gentlemen. Let's now throw it over to Linda Kay with a huge announcement
96.
regarding Blizzard Brawl 10.
Blizzard Brawl 10 is less than 2 months away, and while we have already announced some tremendous talents for the show, we are pleased to announce the man who will be receiving the PWR Lifetime Achievement Award, along with an induction into the PWR Hall of Fame. Please join me in welcoming Ricky the Dragon Steamboat to Blizzard Brawl. Steamboat will be appearing live at the December 6th event and will join Demolition, Ron Simmons, King Kong Bundy, Kevin Nash, and Bobby Heenan in the PWR Hall of Fame. Get more details and tickets right now at blizzardbrawl.com.
Thank you, Linda Kay. Big announcement. Blizzard Brawl 10, December 6th. It's going to be a great show in Waukesha. But let's go to this week's TNA Impact Wrestling Report. And coming out of this past Wednesday show, Kurt Angle was announced, or he announced himself actually, as a special guest referee for the title matchup next week between Bobby Lashley and Bobby Roode. Bobby versus Bobby.
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 How about that?
Kurt Angle, the special guest referee, title on the line. Shall that be the reason for shenanigans?
Oh, that's going to be a part of it for the reason of shenanigans. I mean, but Kurt Angle, I mean, he's the Olympic gold medalist.
That he is.
Best wrestler on the planet.
That he is.
Against the best wrestler in TNA and the current TNA World Heavyweight Champion.
Lashley didn't look too pleased that MVP and Kenny King were acting as his mouthpiece this past Wednesday night.
No, he was not happy. He did not. No.
Some potential dissension there that could cause Bobby Roode to become the new TNA Impact Wrestling Champion?
I don't think.
Can you answer that?
I can't.
You were at the tapings.
I was at the tapings. I can't answer that. Because we're a spoiler-free show.
We are spoiler-free.
So I can't give stuff away.
Well,
But I will say this, no. They really don't. They don't get involved that way.
TNA did announce an 8-man tag team tournament to determine the new #1 contenders to the tag team titles, and 4 teams qualified last night on Impact. They were the Hardys, Ethan Carter, and Tyrus, formerly known as Brodus Clay, MVP and Kenny King, and Samoa Joe and Loki. Some interesting pairings in that tag team tournament.
Very interesting pairings.
Next week on Impact, it's the Hardys versus EC3 and Tyrus, and MVP and Kenny King versus Samoa Joe and Loki. Big focus on tag team wrestling as of late in TNA Impact Wrestling, especially after that Full Metal Mayhem match a couple of weeks back.
Well, they have a lot of talents right now. They do. They have a pretty extensive roster.
That day they did.
And this way they need to reintroduce Brodus or Tyrus. So pair him up with EC3. Mm-hmm. Okay? You need to get Kenny King over, so have him team with MVP. Mm-hmm. Right? Melendez and Ken Anderson, that helps Melendez get better. Mm-hmm. So some of the veterans with these younger guys to help them all improve.
That's TNA Impact Wrestling. Still no news on a television deal for the company, and their deal with Spike TV ends at the end of this year, and they apparently have television tape through the middle of November.
Damien, I've said this to you 1,000,000 times.
Really, 1,000,000 times?
At least.
Really? What are you, Howard Hughes?
If you wait until the last minute, it only takes a minute.
For some, that works. Yes, it does, somehow, some way. That's this week's TNA Impact Wrestling Report, but the TNA discussion does not end there, folks. Coming up after this timeout, our guest via phone will be Robbie E of TNA Impact Wrestling.
What?
Robbie E of TNA Impact Wrestling and of The Amazing Race.
I was going to say, the guy from The Amazing Race?
Absolutely, the wrestlers.
The wrestlers. Oh, I can't wait to talk about that.
Joining us shortly, and then later on in the broadcast, it's Be the Booker for WWE Hell in a Cell tomorrow on pay-per-view. We'll be right back.
Who do you you trust when buying your jewelry? Brad Yulberg here, and I can tell you at Robert Hack Diamonds, we will treat you fair and like family. We have thousands of diamonds in stock, thousands of pieces of jewelry, and prices from under $50 to over $50,000. Come to Robert Hack Diamonds for a relaxed and enjoyable jewelry buying experience. Shop around before you buy. Robert Hack Diamonds is located at 76th and Layton and Greenfield, and our new location on the corner of Green Tree and Port Washington Road in Glendale.
Come to Robbie Hack Diamonds.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Pro Wrestling Report, prime time Saturday night here on My 24 Milwaukee. Damian Nelson sitting alongside David Hero, and joining us right now, we have another special guest joining us this week here on Primetime, and you can see him every week on not one but two television networks, both Spike TV and CBS, on Impact Wrestling and The Amazing Race. Robbie E, welcome to the Pro Wrestling Report.
You've seen me on The Amazing Race, but I'm actually now kind of known as the biggest reality star ever.
Ever?
If you want to throw that in, yeah.
Okay, the
Biggest reality star ever. He was on MTV's Maid, too.
But let's not forget, though, your tag team partner is also one of the biggest reality stars ever.
Well, my tag team partner was one of the biggest reality stars ever until I became a reality star. Now I'm kind of number one, he's kind of number two. You'd agree, right?
If you say so, it works for me.
Now,
Absolutely.
Robbie,
We're equal. We're both number one, bro.
where are you right now? Are you still participating in The Amazing? Are you in the Serengeti?
I'm racing right now. I'm in the car. I'm at a red light. Yeah. Right now, I'm in Africa, bro.
Oh, and their red light cycles are about 5 minutes, so that's how long we have for this interview. Whoa, wait a minute. We can't go there, can we?
No, who's in the car with you is what I want to know.
Well, I mean, I'm kind of, I'm at a red light, there's some problems. I just kicked someone out of the car. I just drove from Denmark to Africa. I'm here. Things are going well. Don't worry about this in the car with me.
Now, I think Dave's asking who's in the car with you, because on TNA Impact Wrestling and on The Amazing Race, we've seen and heard that you've got,
Not
how do I
one,
phrase this?
but two.
Knockouts.
Well, here's the thing. When you figure Robbie E, one knockout isn't enough. So I got my one girl in the ring, and then I got my other girl. I'm racing around the world, and the beauty of it is no one's really going to find out. So, I mean, I'm outsmarting everybody. Two knockouts for Robbie E.
You're on television right now.
Yeah, he's also on one of the most watched TV shows in the nation.
Hey, and I think your friend DJ Zima Ion is. I think he's
putting the
working
moves on your girl,
Velvet
man.
Sky.
Yeah, I don't think he's doing that. I think he's just keeping her warm for me while I'm away. I mean, it's hard being away from Robbie E for this long, so I told DJ Z, play some tunes for her, keep the seat warm. Robbie will be back. Don't worry.
Well, he's keeping the seat warm.
You're still participating in and on The Amazing Race. What has that experience been like so far over the course of the last few weeks? We've enjoyed it on television. The competition continues, if you will. But what's it been like to be a part of The Amazing Race, as you have deemed yourself the biggest reality star in history?
I mean, it's a once-in-a-lifetime experience. You're racing around the world. You're in places you don't know. I mean, I've already, in the 4 weeks, the 4 episodes that have aired, I've already, had to herd sheep. I've had to do things with animals that I would never thought I would do in my life.
Hey,
Not the sheep, I hope.
careful. That sounds funny.
I'm talking to people in London that don't even speak English, bro. I can't understand them. I mean, I've had to done so many things that are hard that, obstacles I've had to go through that you wouldn't think Robbie E could get through, and I've got.
And that's just with Brooke.
Everyone kind of looks at the wrestlers as like, these two are stupid. I mean, come on, bro. We're not stupid. Do I look stupid? We've already
You don't look it.
Second place last week in Denmark, and we're going to go all the way to the finals. We got 8 more weeks. We're going to win the $1 million.
I will say this. You impressed me 2 weeks ago when you nailed in the restaurant, when you had to tell them what were the ingredients in each entree.
I didn't just show that I had a great memory, but I also put a little pizzazz on it. I mean, how great did that sound? Don't you want me to be your waiter, bro?
That's The Amazing Race. I believe it's Friday nights on CBS. Check your local listings for the station in which it airs. Here in Milwaukee, of course, that would be on CBS 58.
Yes.
So check that out. But also, you are still, while you're away playing The Amazing Race, you're still a big part of TNA Impact Wrestling. We talked about Zima Ion earlier. Jesse Goddard's has a new partner, at least as of this past Wednesday on Impact. Are you going to get right back into the bromance game when you're done, or are you going to take the $1 million and run?
Well, I'm going to take the $1 million and definitely run a little bit, but at some point I'll run back to Impact Wrestling. And, right now we're all bro men, and they're holding it down while I'm away, but when I come back, things are going to pick up right where they left off, bro. But, you know, you can't forget that I'm a former X Division champ. I'm a former television champ, 2-time tag champ. There's only one title that I haven't had.
Well, you've already been the
title.
GLCW
I can be
champ.
a Grand Slam champion, and that's kind of scary.
Well, I think you've made your aspirations clear, and we'll see who wins next week between Bobby Roode and Bobby Lashley. Robbie E waiting in the rings. Now, maybe instead of the $1 million, or perhaps with the $1 million, if you win the Amazing Race, you and Brooke, the wrestlers, if you will, you can buy an Amazing Race championship. Bring that belt with you.
You know, I don't even think I need to buy one. I think since we are really like the most entertaining team to ever be on the show, I'm pretty sure we're going to be presented with one at the conclusion of the 12 weeks.
Awesome. From Denmark to Africa, as we speak, can you tell us where you're off to next? Where you're driving next?
I don't really know where we're going. They tell, you know, it's a race. Whatever. When I open the envelope and I read the clue, that's where we're headed next. But all I know is I didn't, you know, some people took planes and ships through here, and I just drove it right to Africa. It was a lot harder, and everyone had an easier time. But
Quite amazing you are, Robbie E. And best of luck to you on the Amazing Race. And we can't wait to see you back again in TNA Impact Wrestling as well. Robbie E, thank you so much for joining us here on the Pro Wrestling Report Primetime.
boom.
Follow us on Twitter for breaking news, live wrestling chat, and pure hilarity. Head over to twitter.com/PWR show and be part of the conversation.
Tomorrow night is the Hell in a Cell on pay-per-view, the opportunity for mayhem and destruction, and finally the chance for Dean Ambrose to get his hands on Seth Rollins. Ambrose has been chasing Rollins all summer and finally has the chance to get the revenge on the man that curb stomped him through the cinder blocks. I'm expecting nothing short of an amazing match with ridiculous and crazy bumps, lots of violence and crash and burn. No doubt these two young stars will have one of the most memorable Hell in a Cell matches in a long time. The WWE Universe is finally getting what they wanted, two young and up-and-comers getting the spotlight and main eventing a pay-per-view. The other match features John Cena versus Randy Orton, with the winner getting champion Brock Lesnar. Not a bad consolation match. And with that, David Hero has spoken.
If you've been hurt in a car wreck, the insurance company may try to stop you from getting what's fair.
After my car wreck, the insurance company just wasn't helping me, so I said stop, and I called Gruber Law Offices.
Be careful. Call us right away.
They better be careful. Now I've got Gruber Law Offices.
Call us. Let us get started on your case right now.
They put the green light on my case and got me $65,000.
Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all. Call 276-6666.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the final leg of the Pro Wrestling Report this week here on My 24 Milwaukee. And it's time to find out who has been selected as this week's Diamond of the Ring. David, take it away.
This week's Robert Hack Diamond of the Ring is the Viper, Mr. RKO himself, not only because of his amazing vines all week. Have you seen all those everywhere? Out of nowhere.
I made them.
That was you?
Yeah.
Huh.
I gotta generate some more revenue somehow.
I never would have
spending money like a drunk sailor.
But Randy Orton is the guy that he's once again proven he is a main event player, giving the RKO to John Cena, then to Paul Heyman. Randy Orton, this week's Robert Hack Diamond of the Ring. Who do you trust when buying diamonds? I trust Robert Hack, Diamonds of the Ring.
Solid choice. Let's go to somebody who I don't think has yet been RKO'd. She hasn't been on that bus yet. But Linda Kay with this week's Event Center. Take it away, Linda.
Welcome to the PWR Event Center, brought to you by Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all. Shenanigans are coming to St. Louis for the Survivor Series on November 23rd. This is a free admission event and will be held at the world-famous Hard Rock Cafe, right next door to the Scottrade Center, which will host Survivor Series that evening. Due to another commitment, Kevin Nash will not be able to appear at the event, and for that, we apologize. However, Nash has been replaced by WWE Hall of Famer Mean Gene Okerlund. Gene will be joining Thea Rosita Trinidad for a meet and greet in St. Louis, and you can RSVP for your free tickets right now at pwrshow.com. PWR is pleased to bring Shenanigans back to WrestleMania, and we guarantee you it will be the biggest party event of WrestleMania weekend. Big Sexy Kevin Nash is again hosting the Shenanigans Party in San Jose, and already signed for the event are several divas and knockouts, including former TNA knockout Rosita and former WWE diva Melina. PWR has also signed DJ Zima Ion to be the official DJ for the Shenanigans Club Party. All attendees will get free drinks and free food all night long at the party, along with a red carpet meet and greet. Tickets for the Shenanigans Club Party are available right now at PWRshow.com. And if you order now, you'll get a special early bird pricing, saving $15 off your ticket. So don't wait. Buy now and be a part of the biggest party of WrestleMania weekend in San Jose, the Shenanigans Club Party. And now let's go to our colleague Mean Gene Okerlund to tell you about tomorrow's GLCW Oktoberfest event.
All right, folks, we're going to be getting back to the basics. Little old-time wrestling in the month of October. What else but Oktoberfest? Sunday, October the 26th, Circle B in Cedarburg. And ladies and gentlemen, it reads like a who's who in professional wrestling. A lot of great names are going to be there, but I've got some good news for kids. In your Halloween costumes, you get in absolutely free. Otherwise, those tickets are $10, so you can dress to the nines and do yourself a favor and save a buck or two. We'll spend it some other way. But in the meantime, again, Cedarburg, and it's going to be Circle B in Cedarburg, the Oktoberfest, and the greatest in Great Lakes Championship Wrestling right here.
Thank you, Mean Gene Okerlund. Can't wait to see him tomorrow night. Circle B in Oconomowoc.
It's Cedarburg.
Cedarburg.
Don't confuse the masses.
Once you get north of River Hills, where I live, it just gets very confusing to me.
Okay.
So anyways.
Wait, I thought it was River West.
No, River Hills.
Oh,
I grew up in River West.
I get them confused.
I'm in River Hills.
Gotcha.
Let's talk about tomorrow's WWE pay-per-view.
Be the Booker, Hell in a Cell.
Hell in a Cell. Tomorrow night.
Live from Dallas, Texas.
Is it really?
Yes.
Well, in this segment, we go through it match by match and look at how that one would book it if
dominating.
he were writing
24-40.
the book.
24-40.
22.75 are the points held by the Nelson family to David's 24.40. All right, so firstly, we're going to talk about a matchup between Nikki Bella and Brie Bella.
Two sisters going to fight. 10 seconds. Yeah. I'm going to pick Nikki Bella to win because that way Brie is her assistant for a month.
Or her.
I'm not saying it. I can't say it tonight. Okay, or her ex-wife. That's fine. If that's what you wanted to hear.
Is that legal in Dallas, Texas? Next, for the WWE Tag Team Championships, it will be the Usos attempting to take the gold from the Gold One and his brother Stardust.
You know, you got to believe that Goldust and Stardust, amazing heels. They've done a great job, but you got to believe that the Usos, it's their time again. And it's a battle.
Don't you stop that.
It's the battle of the brothers in paint. I'm sorry, your boy Cody's going to drop some gold in Dallas. Usos, the new WWE Tag Team Champions.
Goldust, Stardust endorsed. Great champions. Recently getting the championship belts back. I see no reason for the Usos to take those titles from them at Hell in a Cell tomorrow night.
It's not your segment.
The Intercontinental Championship will be on the line, folks, and this will be a best 2 out of 3 falls matchup. Cesaro versus Dolph Ziggler. The amazingness that will happen in this match is difficult to put into words.
I would not be a bit surprised if the WWE wants to send the IWC home crushed. Ziggler wins the first fall, Cesaro wins the second. The final third fall is a double countout.
No, come on.
No, but that wouldn't surprise me. That would not surprise me one bit. But I think Cesaro, he is the best wrestler in the company, and he's going to prove that by beating Dolph Ziggler twice in one night.
The best wrestler in the company.
In the company.
Better than Cody Rhodes. Better than Dolph Ziggler.
Yes.
Better.
He is the best wrestler technician in the company. Yes. Sorry, it's the truth.
The Big Show.
Yes.
One-on-one.
One-on-one.
With Rusev.
Yeah.
Who will have Lana, won't you marry me now, in his corner.
Yeah, and that's the deciding factor is you have Lana. Rusev is a beast. He's on a roll. No one is gonna stop this guy. At least not until WrestleMania.
Rusev, who recently has defeated Mark Henry, and now Big Show, you're saying, is next.
Absolutely. Big Show is the next one to tap.
WWE Divas Championship on the line as AJ Lee defends against Paige.
It's like we've seen this match over and over and over and over and over again.
But I like the story still. I'm intrigued.
But there's so many other divas they could be using right now. And
well, you know why they keep putting AJ on the pay-per-views? WWE really wants to hear the people chant CM Punk.
What were you going to say? You caught yourself. The
fans.
people. The fans.
The humanoids.
The humanoids. You were going to say something else.
Oh, was. Because he quit the company, walked out on them.
I know. It's hard. Honest to God, it's hard to keep track of who's the champ half the time. But I'm going to go with Paige.
Oh, all right. So you're on the left today.
No, I'm on the right side of the board.
That's my left.
But when you're facing it, it's on the right.
The United States Championship on the line. Sheamus versus Miz.
I hate to say this.
Uh-oh. Here we go, folks. David is about to pick an endorsed talent to retain, to become United States
I honestly
tomorrow on pay-per-view.
Because of Damien Sandow.
Mizdow.
Who
beat Sheamus this past Monday night.
Sheamus is going to lose to The Miz. And the fans are going to hate it, but the fans don't really care about Sheamus either, but they love Mizdow. And that's going to be the deciding factor.
Hell in a Cell Part 1, ladies and gentlemen. The winner gets a shot at Brock Lesnar's WWE World Heavyweight Championship at some point in the future.
It's got to be the Rumble, right?
It will be. You would assume so. It will be John Cena versus Randy Orton.
And here's why it's got to be at the Rumble. Because who's ever in that match with Brock Lesnar isn't in the Rumble. Mm-hmm. So that means someone else can win it. Mm-hmm. I love Randy Orton in this match. I really do. I would love to see Randy Orton beat John Cena. I'm conflicted.
We're too deep. Cena versus Lesnar now.
I know, and you're going to have the third one. You're going to have to. But then that keeps John Cena out of the Rumble. But I got to go with Randy Orton.
What?
I do. I just think when Randy Orton gave the RKO to Paul Heyman and to John Cena, it re-elevated himself back up. He's been all over the internet with those crazy out of nowhere vines. Yes, he's getting a whole lot of popularity, a whole lot of crossover appeal. Why not? And it's something different.
That is true. Orton versus Lesnar.
I love it.
Really?
It's two guys that are vicious. You got the Viper against the Beast.
Randy would do anything to win. Hell in a Cell Part 2, ladies and gentlemen. Dean Ambrose versus Seth Rollins. Weeks, months in the making. Two former members of The Shield. I'm surprised you put this match as bottom.
I think it's the main event. I really do. I think it's the main event because it's the match that most people are emotionally invested in. With that being said, no matter what happens, Seth Rollins is going to leave with the briefcase.
Because it's not on the line.
It's not on the line. So he'll always have that. So that keeps him upper mid-card. Dean Ambrose needs this victory more than anybody else needs a victory on the entire night. If Ambrose does not beat Seth Rollins tomorrow night at Hell in a Cell, he drops 2 or 3 notches.
When's Roman Reigns back?
Maybe by the Rumble.
If you had to call it right now, who wins the Rumble? 5 seconds to spare.
Reigns.
Orton versus Lesnar. Lesnar wins. Reigns wins Rumble. Reigns versus Lesnar at Mania.
And then you got Rusev and Cena.
Rising stars on this pay-per-view. Dean Ambrose, as you said, Rusev, Cesaro, and
you got to put the Usos in there.
I think they're already there. How much higher can they go, to be honest?
Well, they could be a multi-time tag team champion. There's been a lot of, but they could be a multi-time.
But some interesting scenarios could develop out of this pay-per-view tomorrow. Hell in a Cell. We'll be covering it for you on Twitter, at PWR Show on Twitter. So be sure to follow that there. Big thanks to our guest, Robbie E, for joining us here this week via Skype. And we'll be back with you again here next week.
Next
on
week.
The Pro Wrestling Report Prime Time here on My 24 Milwaukee. Until then, for that one, this is Damian Nelson saying thank you so much. We'll see you next week.